a terrific job. Let's bring in the panel and just reintroduce everybody and maybe get their thoughts on what they heard from Peter Barnes. Liz Pulliam-Weston is author of Easy Money and also a personal finance columnist. John Rutledge, chairman of Rutledge Capital and an economic advisor to many famous people. And joining us now is Dani Babb, founder of the Babb Group and a real estate expert. Guys, because John, I know you were listening to Peter Barnes, but again, worry, protectionist sentiment clearly rising here, toned down a bit in the stimulus package. You're seeing these things develop country by country. Does it frighten you?
I think it's humiliating. This is the weakest performance I've seen in my lifetime. Geithner's like the Doogie Howser of finance going over to this meeting, telling them, like he did the American people last week, we don't have the slightest idea what we're going to do, but we're going to tell you in a few weeks. This is ridiculous. We need an adult Treasury Secretary. We need somebody who can speak and calm people down instead of speeches to scare people to get legislation passed. It's very bad, and they need to shape up.
Well, Hank Paulson, the former Treasury Secretary, he wasn't exactly the great at elocution, was he not? I mean, I'm trying to be kind here.
No, he was an adult. I mean, he was also an elitist guy who liked to have big TARP programs, but he would not be my stand-up example of a Treasury Secretary. But Geithner's only in that job because Larry Summers couldn't get the job because the feminists blew him out after his Harvard performance. It's the truth. It happened over a weekend. He was going to be Treasury Secretary. He was pushed out. He's in the White House. That's why we've got Geithner. Geithner doesn't belong in this job.
Wednesday, we're going to hear from President Obama about the foreclosure program, what they're going to do to right the housing market. Dani, what do you expect to hear? Will it matter?
I don't think it's going to matter in the long run. The only thing that's going to help is to reduce inventory, and I think that having the home buyer credit in there, the tax break for people to buy homes, not just a first-time home buyer, but for everyone, and not having an income cap is the best thing that we can do right now.
We didn't get that.
We did not get that.
We did not get that.
But, you know, it's interesting that the banks are now coming out on their own and saying 3-week moratorium on foreclosures. 3 weeks buys us absolutely nothing, and we shouldn't be buying time anyway. But interestingly
they're just buying time until the foreclosure plan comes out from the administration.
Exactly. And, you know, interestingly enough, now Chase is proactively calling investors and actually modifying their interest rates on their own. So we do have some things happening in the private sector that I'm much more optimistic about.
Liz, do you want to add anything before we move on? And by the way, Eric is coming back. Eric just had to run a little errand over on the Fox News channel. But go ahead, Liz.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think one of the things that could make a difference in the foreclosure rate is if the bankruptcy judges had the ability to cram down those loans. And the bankers hate that, but it is one thing that could slow down the foreclosure rate. I'm not one of those who believes we just let housing prices fall to a bottom. I think we do need to slow down this tsunami.
And that legislation is coming from Congress, correct?
Yeah,
it's coming.
Bankruptcy judges already. Yeah, but bankruptcy judges already can modify mortgages on vacation property, on commercial property, on rentals. The one thing they can't do is modify it on residential property. And as we've seen, it's really hard for the lenders to get their investors on board to modify mortgages. That's why it hasn't been happening.
They have the option to write down investment properties, but first of all, they usually don't. And second, the other big problem here is if banks are forced to do this by the public sector, we can see everyone's costs for mortgages, businesses, credit cards, et cetera, go up. And I think that's bad for everyone.
Well, speaking of business,
I think they're going to limit it.
Here.
Okay. Speaking of business, though, this is about starting your own business. If you want to own your own business, being an entrepreneur. But again, you have to deal with an economic downturn. My next guest is here to help. David Von Stork has made a name for himself as let me just go through the list. Mall developer, nightclub owner, founder of successful microbreweries, and now a chain of gyms/spas with his latest adventure, a chain of high-end fitness centers called Vita. David is banking on a fresh idea in a fit business, and we welcome him from Miami. David, it is such an incredible story. I don't even really know where to start with you, but what do you, again, speaking from your own personal experience, what do you tell people who are interested in starting a business during such tough economic times?
Well, I think there are two things that I would ask people to think about. One is, what is your life like today, and what happened to me when I was working for another company, and I just got this huge promotion, and I thought, wow, this is great. What will happen if everything goes the way I would love it to go? In 15 years, where will I be? And I realized that that's not really the life I wanted. And so really that was the aha moment for me that said, you know what, I'd really like to try to go in a different direction. That was in the mid-'80s. It was a very different time now. Your question is, well, if you want to start a business now, hey, David, what were some of the things that you might recommend us think about? Quite frankly, right now, I would work on my business plan. I would try to develop the idea. I'm in the retail businesses. And in the retail businesses right now, I wouldn't recommend someone opening a business in the next 6 months.
Really? Well, David, tell somebody, though, how you develop a business plan and just some of the work and the amount of work and research you did just to start the Vita, the fitness club business.
Well, for me, Vita was really easy because fitness is a passion for me. Fitness is what gets me out of bed every morning. So what I did actually was I started going to fitness conventions in the late 90s, and I was just a sponge. I would go and ask all sorts of questions, every question, stupid questions, anything I could think of, just to see what was new in the market, what people were doing, what the software was for, what the programs were for, to really understand where the market was going and try to figure out an entry strategy that would be consistent with what I liked or with something I could be good at. My background is financial and operations, so I thought if I could combine my financial experience with my passion for fitness, that was really a good way for me to enter the market.
But you get to a point, David, because you're talking about something you were passionate about, but you really need to have the skills and tools, do you not, to figure out the financials of the business and making it work and what sets your business apart from others. And you can expound upon that, because really how you bring in revenue is quite different than the way other gyms do.
Well, that's true. I mean, the business model that we developed, if you look at the traditional Bally's model, we all know that gyms typically, they try to get you in and they sell you in a very low price membership. And their gig is, let's sell the membership, but we really don't want the member to show up, because if everyone showed up that purchased a membership, the gym would be packed. Our approach is completely different. Ours is we have a higher price point. The sales process is harder and longer, but once we have you, we really only make money if we can keep you as a member for longer than a year. So our goal is, once you are a member, we want to keep you involved. We want to keep you engaged. So for example, if you haven't shown up at the gym for 60, 30, or 90 days, you'll get a personal email from us that says, hey, we're here. There's a program you might be interested in. We have some nutrition counseling. Come by. We're here to see you. We're here, we're here for you. So it's a very different model of trying to get people engaged in fitness rather than selling a membership so that you can pay your monthly nut.
We actually have somebody, David, on the phone, a question for you from Terry in Nevada. Terry, go ahead. What do you want to know?
Hi, I am disabled and I don't, I'm on Social Security disability, but I want to work and I can't find a job. I do accounting. I have experience in accounting, receivables, and so forth. And listen, you guys have decided to try to start my own business.
Yeah.
And what my question is, should I try to run this business from my home with very little expense out of pocket, or should I do the storefront approach that's going to cost me considerably more? I live in a fairly small town of about 15,000, and there are several other agencies in town that do that, but right. I could make a really good living charging half what they do.
Absolutely.
David, hold on one second. I want Dani to get in here and answer that. I think that because this directly relates to Dani.
Terry, first of all, congratulations. This is fantastic. I'm very happy for you. I have very good news for you, and that is I was researching the top 7 online businesses to start for the year 2009-2010 in terms of needs. There are a lot of small business owners out there and medium-sized business owners that are a little afraid to go after accounts receivables, and they need someone with a strong background in finance who isn't afraid to use email and pick up the phone and actually ask someone to pay their bills. So this is a fantastic opportunity for you to jump on. You should keep your costs low, run it out of your house, get a darn good high-speed internet access that's exceedingly reliable, put up a Web 2.0 site that's interactive, has forums, will offer forms of residual income, and absolutely go at it. This is fantastic. Great idea.
John, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, and don't pay rent. I mean, absolutely. Do it at home. Do it on a shoestring. But the internet allows you to look and behave and perform like a business is spending a lot more money. And there are once you get that customer, that will be a small business where you'll be collecting their receivables, there'll be other things you can do for them as well. You can do them from your home, but that's wonderful. That's what this whole hour is supposed to be about, is helping people, Terry, who want to get the flame going and get out there and solve your own problem. God bless you.
David, because all the businesses that you have started, I believe, a nightclub, your breweries, and now the fitness business, they were brick and mortar businesses. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Well, that's interesting. As I was listening to the other suggestions, it's actually very. I agree with those completely. One of the strategies that we spend most of the time on at Vita Fitness is our web strategy, which is how do we get people in the door? Do you know the number one source for us to get qualified contacts into Vita Fitness is the internet. And you're right, the people who work with us on the internet, they don't need to have a retail presence. They don't need to have a store. So if you can start a business from your home and using your skills with website development or helping people to drive traffic to their site, that's a winner. Even in this economy, believe me, we're spending more money this year on internet presence and developing that part of our strategy than we have before.
And Terry, can you call us back and tell us how you're doing once you get this thing going, and tell us what problems you're running into?
Yeah, and Terry, you know what? Email me. Go to my website, drdaniellebabb.com. Email me. I'm going to hook you up with a web developer who's fantastic. We'll get you in there exceedingly cheap, in the door with a killer website. I want to see you succeed because this is a fantastic idea. That's what this show is about. And David brought up an exceedingly good point, and that is that there really is no delineating line anymore between brick and mortar and click and mortar. They're really integrated. I don't care if you have a store in a small town in Kansas. You can have clients coming from China or Korea or some other place, and that line is now erased.
Guys, I'm hearing words that are uplifting that I love. Winner, success, optimism. That's what this is about. So keep those calls coming with your questions about starting a business, being an entrepreneur. The phones are lighting up. We promise we will get to your calls coming up. And again, David, Danny, John are going to stay with us this whole hour. We will come back right after this.
Monday. End of the road. Automakers race to avoid bankruptcy and trim debt. Will they meet the government's loan standards on time? We look at Detroit's deadline and the future of the industry. Who's keeping score? We are. America's Nightly Scoreboard.
You want to keep warm when you're feeling chilled, but you don't want to raise your heating bill. Blankets are okay, but they can slip and slide. And when you need to reach for something, your hands are trapped inside. Now, there's the Snuggie, the blanket that has sleeves. The Snuggie keeps you totally warm and gives you the freedom to use your hands. So now you can work the remote or read a book in total warmth and comfort. Perfect for chilly outdoor evenings. And it's ideal for staying cozy and warm at sporting events. Snuggie is made of ultra-soft, thick, luxurious fleece. Super large, one size fits all. Now you can do what you need to and stay totally warm with the Snuggie. Call now and you'll get the Snuggie for only $19.95. Available in royal blue, sage green, and burgundy. You'll also receive our Press and Open book light, a $15 value, free. But call right now and we'll give you 2 Snuggies and 2 book lights for only $19.95.
Call 1-800-747-0986. Remember, call now and get an additional Snuggie and book light. Just pay processing and handling. Call 1-800-747-0986.
'Tis the dreaded season. You're worried your tax return could mean more money out of your pocket. Don't panic. Dave's got the simple tips you need to maximize your deductions and get a bigger refund. All this month, don't miss the Dave Ramsey Show.
Welcome back, everybody, and Eric Bowling will be back in just a couple of minutes. Meantime, we're answering all of your questions on finance, money, mortgages, the economy, and really, this hour, starting a business, running one, owning one. Call us at 877-249-9626, or you can email us at feedback@foxbusiness.com. Let's reintroduce everybody. Liz Pulliam-Weston, author of Easy Money and a personal finance columnist. John Rutledge, chairman of Rutledge Capital and an economic advisor. Dani Babb, founder of the Babb Group and real estate expert. And business owner and entrepreneur, David Von Storch. And David, just tell them, just tell them about the business. It's Vita Fitness, correct? Where are you located in this country?
Washington, D.C. We have 3 locations. Actually, what we have is a lifestyle business, which includes 3 high-end fitness centers, 3 spas, 3 hair salons, and then we have a hospitality division, which has 4 restaurants.
Okay, great. I just wanted to let you get a little plug in there. Thank you, David. Ibrahim is on the phone from Pennsylvania. What do you want to know? Go ahead, ask your question.
How are you doing? I have a small trucking company in the Philadelphia area. I want to find out what the stimulus package will do for small business owners as far as tax breaks or cuts or whatever.
Guys, you want to weigh in here? John, how much of that stimulus did you read?
I have no idea, because this stuff has not been out and available to read. There are capital spending bumps in the bill that can help you a little bit, but maybe one of the other guys can do better.
I think I can weigh in a couple of things. There's accelerated depreciation for some businesses.
Right.
There, you can, if you have losses in the current year, you can use them against back taxes in previous years you paid, but that was reduced dramatically. So I think it's for only businesses with like 15 million in revenue or less. So it depends on. I'm talking off the top of my head, so I think it depends on how big your business is. But Dani can weigh in.
There are some carryovers, as Dagan was saying, but I think probably the biggest strength and has nothing to do really with the stimulus, is that the Small Business Administration has more pressure being put on them to lend through banks and through community banks in particular. And we know that lending is actually up from this time last year, which is a very good thing. And there's actually grant money out there for capital that is $35,000 or less if you're starting a new business and you promise to employ at least 1 person. So that's something to take a look at it.
Isn't there a working capital line provision in the SBA thing too?
There is a working capital line on SBA.gov.
Yeah, and some of it's for starting a new business, but you've got a business already. Drop down the new baby subsidiary. That's a new business, and go get your 35 grand.
Oh yeah, can definitely use that.
You bet.
David, go ahead.
You know, well, one of the things that I was reading, and for small businesses, this is a really big one. There used to be a $100,000 limitation on expenses that you could take off your balance sheet and expense for the current year. That number is up to $250,000. And for small businesses like me, and for most of us, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Indeed it is. David, how much do you look to the government, though, for help?
Zero. Really, I mean, I don't rely on any programs. I did get an SBA loan when I first started. It was very difficult, but I will also say this: the SBA loan program actually is a good way for people to start to try to find bank capital for your business. When you're starting out, it's a good program.
Okay, well said. Kristen is on the phone from Wisconsin. Actually, did she write in? She has another tax question. This is an email. I am a small business owner. I will be building a new home and expanding my office, but I am wondering if I can still get a tax credit because I would be a first-time homeowner. I was recently married and my husband is not a first-time homeowner, so could I still qualify for this tax credit?
I do not believe that you will still qualify for the tax credit, but the tax credit was, as of now, taken out of this bill entirely, so it's gone. Now, if you purchased your house last year, it's another story. However, if you can use part of this home that you buy for your business, then you can take whatever percentage square feet you're actually using for your business and write that off as a small home business expense. And that includes utilities, which you'll need to keep track of, the space, and anything it takes to keep the space up and running, and so on. So that's one deduction.
Liz, quickly, you want to add anything here?
No, I can't add anything to that.
Okay, she covered it all. All right.
Covered it.
Keep those questions coming when we return from break, especially if you're talking about being an entrepreneur, starting your own business, running it. We'll be right back.
Sandals Luxury Included Resorts now include a once-in-a-lifetime offer. Book now, save up to 55%. Call your travel agent or 1-800-SANDALS.
Life can be frustrating, but doing taxes doesn't have to be. E-File. Learn more at irs.gov.
The plan gets passed, but what does it really mean for the market and your money? We get you answers. Stay with the team you trust. Stay with Fox Business.
I got 5 $583 from cashforgold.com. All I did was look through my drawer full of jewelry I never wear.
Turn your unwanted, broken, or mismatched jewelry into cold, hard cash, because if you're selling, cashforgold.com is buying.
I sold my old jewelry and took the vacation of a lifetime.
I had no idea my old jewelry, rings, chains, and bracelets were worth so much money.
And with gold, silver, and platinum at their highest value in decades, that means more money in your pocket. And because we own our refinery, we can cut out the middleman.
It was so easy. I called the number on TV and asked for their free refiner's return pack.
Safe and insured. I sent in my old jewelry and got more money than I could ever have imagined.
Fill the envelope with your unwanted or broken jewelry and mail it to our processing center. A safe, reliable transaction with satisfaction guaranteed.
I got $423 from cashforgold.com. Now that's a lot of gas money.
Call 1-800-331-6553. Call now.
This is about your questions and answers to them. Your questions, your money. We're on Twitter. Danny is over here. There's a tweet that has come in, or several, right?
Yeah.
So this is about how, again, it's a tough job environment. Mm-hmm. How do you know if your employees are looking for other jobs?
That's an excellent question. Came from Professor Derek Day, and there's a couple of ways, but I'll tell you, I have used the Zappos method, and that is to offer people $2,000 to leave. And if they take me up on it, then I know they really weren't all that tight and loyal to the business to begin with. You could do what some companies I know are doing and spy on your employees and check out and see if their resumes are on Monster. But I think the best thing that you can do is sit down with your team, be honest with them about the financial position of your business, work together as a team, and even incentivize them to bring maybe some crazy-ass, different, new ideas to the table that you can actually use and make some money off of, and pay them for leads, and that will keep them there.
Sure. And she meant a $sign.
Right, of course.
Yes, exactly, because we do that around here, actually. David, I wanted to ask you that, like, any insight, any help that you can give people in terms of managing their employees and problems that you've run into over the years in all the different businesses that you've started.
Well, you know, when I started my business in '86, and I promise you, I've seen almost every scam imaginable for people taking money from the company till. It happens in small business, and we don't have the ability or the luxury of having the 100% solution. So what it really means is I've got, as the business owner, you know, I have to be plugged in. I have to be paying attention. And I think a lot of business owners, once they get that small degree of success, they want to enjoy it. If you really enjoy your business, then being part of your business and paying attention to what's going on will really keep you in the loop, and you'll be able to see those problems before they get too far out of line. But you know, to think that any company, no matter how well you're organized, you're not going to have problems, it's just not realistic.
When you hire people, what is the single most important thing that you look for?
Well, I'll tell you, I think this is really important for people to think about. When you talk to somebody, you want to think about what skills does this person bring to the table? What skills can I teach this person? And what qualities does this person have that I can't teach them, that if they don't have, they're really not going to make it in the company? And I'll tell you for ours is integrity, honesty, and humility. And those are qualities, if you think about it, you can't teach honesty, you can't teach humility. If you have those qualities, and you can, and if I find that connection in you as a prospective employee, I can teach you things, but I can't teach you how to be honest. And so for me, the best way to find a really good employee is to find someone with the qualities that I need and has some of the qualifications, but I would rather have someone that has those qualities that I can teach the qualifications rather than someone that's eminently qualified that doesn't really fit within the culture of the company.
All right, hang in there, David. We have someone on the phone, Tony from Maryland. Tony, what's your question?
Yeah, hi. I'm a small business owner from Maryland. I have a small landscaping company. My question is, I get taxed twice. Is there anything in the stimulus package that's going to reduce the tax? Say I buy, you know, a $10,000 lawnmower, I have all of my equipment, and then I get my personal property tax on top of that. I'm getting taxed twice for the same equipment.
What, Liz?
What's that?
Liz, you want to grab this question?
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything that would prevent that. I want to know, have you got a good CPA looking through your tax returns and making sure that you're incorporated the right way?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then talk to him.
You know, one thing One thing I will say, and as a small business owner, I agree, the personal property tax is the tax I hate the most. Because there's no reason for the government to tax me for things that I've already paid taxes on and I'm using in my business. Having said that, that's one of those things where you hold your breath and you say, you know what, that's part of doing business. Everybody pays it or should pay it. But there are ways that you can minimize your other tax burdens, and by having your corporation set up correctly, those taxes are ones that you really can mitigate. I can give you a really quick example. In the District of Columbia, there's something called an unincorporated franchise tax. That we pay whether or not we live in the District of Columbia or not. So it makes a lot of sense for me to live in the District of Columbia, because if I do, I can take that as a credit against my personal taxes. If I don't, then I pay the tax anyway. So knowing how the taxes that you pay, how they apply in your personal situation, is really important to being able to minimize the tax burden that you pay every year.
Yeah, one other quick thing too, and you may already be doing this, but everybody else watching needs to make sure they do it as well, is any asset that you buy that's partly used at home and partly used in your business, which may very well be the case, like your car, you need to keep very detailed records in terms of what is allocated towards your business and what percentage of it is used towards that, so that you're not being overtaxed.
Let's move on. Isaac wants to know, is there any disadvantage to pre-qualifying for a mortgage loan from multiple lenders? I want to make sure I am getting the best rate.
Yes, there is one disadvantage, and that's called an inquiry, which will knock your credit score down a couple of points, a few points, depending on how many you have out there. Now, here's the thing. If you actually fund one of these loans, it's going to have less of an impact on your FICO than if you just have a whole bunch of inquiries running around out there and never actually do anything. So when you do actually finalize your loan, you're going to want to explain why all those inquiries are there to the lender, to the underwriting team. That's going to go through your loan processor. When you do that, they should include those points back into your FICO. It's tough to do today, but you should go to bat and fight for that, because it could mean a difference in a quarter or to half a point in interest.
All right.
Let me jump in here, because I always double app, but the mortgage applications are all grouped together and counted as one. So the most you would be hit if you do your shopping or your applications within a short period of time is just 5 points.
Excellent.
Just 5 points. So
just 5 points.
Just 5. We may need those 5. We need every 5 points we can get. All right, it's all about small business this hour. We've gotten some great questions for our panel of entrepreneurs. Keep the calls and emails coming.
Are nasty drafts forcing you to crank up the heat? Heating bills are reported to increase dramatically, causing your money to literally fly out the door. With Twin Draft Guard's double-sided insulated design, your utility bills can be reduced by up to 30%. Watch. Air seeps under the door, but Twin Draft Guard creates an airtight seal. It's adjustable, slides under any door or window. Cut the length you need. Cover and slide onto the door for a draft-proof seal. Twin Draft Guard seals any gap on any floor, even carpet. Use on windows for an airtight seal. Block wind and snow. Insulate garages and basements. Seal in air conditioning. Twin Draft Guard is only $19.99. Call now and we'll double the offer. If it doesn't pay for itself the very first month, send it back for a refund. As a free gift, get the over-the-door ceramic hook, absolutely free. You get it all, just $19.99.
Call 1-800-691-5846. Order now and you'll get 2 double-sided Twin Draft Guards and the free bonus over-the-door hanger for just $19.99. Call 1-800-691-5846 or go to twindraftguard.com.
Monday. Impact of the stimulus, from stabilizing the banking sector to boosting consumer confidence. What can we really expect as the plan goes forward? Neil breaks down every angle. He's the first and last name in business, Cavuto.
We're back with your questions, your money. Call us at 877-249-9626, or you can email us at feedback@foxbusiness.com. We have Liz Pulliam West, Weston, author of Easy Money and personal finance columnist. John Rutledge, chairman of Rutledge Capital and economic advisor. Dani Babb, founder of the Babb Group and real estate expert, and small business owner and entrepreneur David Von Storch. All right, let's jump right in. Audrey from Florida is on the phone. Audrey, what's your question?
My question is, what is the most effective way to market your business on the internet specifically?
That's a great question. There's several ways. First of all, I like pay per pay-per-click advertising so that you're not just paying for an impression. And here's the difference, everyone. Paying for an impression means every time it shows up on someone's webpage, you're going to pay for it. That's not very effective. You want to pay for every time someone clicks on it. So that's one option. I think the most cost-effective, cheap way to do it is to jump into every forum and every blog, participate in every possible forum that your potential business people, the people that are going to buy from you, are in and on, and participate, be an expert, provide information for them, and then point them to your own website.
Tell them about your book. We got an online book
coming out in November. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
David, what are some unusual things that you've done just with Vita, or even over the years with the nightclub? The nightclub was before really the internet, but even the breweries that you ran.
Well, it's true, but I think to stay with the internet strategy, let me give you an example of how you can cross-market your businesses. We have a hair salon that has the ability for you to make an appointment online. So every time someone makes an appointment, we grab that email address. That is gold, and that allows us to cross-market with our other affiliated entities by offering by making offers to our Bang customers, to potential Vita clients or potential spa clients, and it really works well. I think the pay-per-click model is, there are many models out there. From what I've seen, the pay-per-click, which means, to be specific, the Google Words and Yahoo, those really are the most effective ways that we've been able to get people to our website. But also, you're right, if you have articles on the website about health and nutrition and fitness, and people are looking for those articles and those keywords come to your website, then that drives traffic to your website. So there are multiple ways and multiple layers of getting traffic to your site. But once you need to develop that site so that when someone comes there, it's fresh, there's information they want to see, and is relevant to their search.
David, I want to know, what about the response rate on those cross-promotional efforts with the email? And how do you balance that with inundating your customers with too many emails?
Or ticking them off, too.
Right. I was trying to say that nicely.
Yeah, no, you have to be really careful about that. In other words, the email always has to come from the company that you signed up with, and it's affiliated, so we can do that. But for example, for Bang Salon, you only will get a solicitation for Bang Salon. At the bottom, it will say, "Hey, as a Bang member, you are eligible for this," whether it's a free training session or a free tanning or a free day pass. But you are eligible for something because you are a Bang customer, and it is within the context of a Bang Salon email. So you're right, you have to be really careful, because otherwise you really tick people off. And A, and B, you can't do it too frequently. You have to respect that all of us get way too many emails, and we're deleting them within seconds of seeing them. So the window that we have to get to people is short. So the message has to be really sharp, and it has to be respectful of what the relationship is between the individual and the business.
Two quick things here. If any of you are going to use any of these methods and mine data, first of all, you need to have a disclaimer on your website that says that you are collecting data and that you may be used for marketing purposes, and give them an opportunity to opt out. Second of all, depending upon the state that you live in, if somebody does click the opt out button or unsubscribe button to any of your emails, you have between 72 hours and 10 days to get that person's information removed from your database, or you can get into a lot of trouble. So make sure you check your state laws.
Can I just throw this in here real quick? I think Dani was right on it, though, when she said, I don't know if you heard it, we should expand on it. Use every social networking site you possibly can. It's free. It gets out there. You know, Dani mentioned Twitter. I'm on there is an expanding base of people who are following these things. I put stuff up that we're going to talk about on Happy Hour up on a Twitter page or on a Facebook page, and people gravitate. What are you going to talk about today? It's a great way to get a business message out, and they all work together. They all start to blossom within each other.
And you have to be ahead of ahead and know which sites are becoming cool and picking up share, because again, as we're making these sites uncool.
Well, we definitely are making them uncool, but it's pretty cool to make money on a Facebook, because people are searching out your company, right, Dani?
Yeah, absolutely. They're searching out your company, and these things become viral very quickly, particularly if you put something controversial or something a little exciting or provocative up there. You can bring a lot more people into your site.
You should see.
John has a look on his face.
That's something that we try to do on the show.
I hope we had a two-shot of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did his face look like?
Well, no, one thing, we are the Fox thefoxdocs.com as a website and the Fox Docs as a Twitter page. You can send entrepreneur stories, start your business stories, questions can go there.
And keep your brand consistent across the board.
Yeah, we do all those things.
Bill's on the phone from Tennessee. Bill, what do you want to know?
I'd like to know, I have a small business and I have a loan at the bank for $600,000. I have that collateralized with a $600,000 certificate of deposit. If the bank goes broke, I'm only insured for $250,000. Do I still owe the bank the balance?
Liz, do you know?
Yeah, I think pretty much the bad news is yes, you do, because
so the bank can force, if the bank goes bankrupt, then I can go bankrupt.
Yep, that's your choice. I wish there were a better answer than that, but the loans stay in force no matter what happens to the bank. That's an asset to the bank.
Danny, won't someone else pick up that loan from the bank?
That's possible, they may, but what if you recollateralize this and you actually took out different loans using other pieces of collateral? You may have like your house or cars or something and paid down some of the debt so that it only equaled the $150,000 or $250,000 that you're secured
I
with.
don't have any other debts. I have $600,000 that I've saved up over the years. And then I took a CD out, and then I started a company, but I didn't have any other collateral except for my CD. And they said, well, we would take that.
Can you get two other banks to loan you $250 and then take a piece of the CD and move them over so you can take advantage of the insurance on each of those banks?
If they'll split that loan out, I'll have to talk to the banks to see.
For the bank you've borrowed the money from right now, all you have to do is say you're paying that loan down. That'll be an easy decision for them.
And then just go get two more loans.
And tell them, by the way, when they're doing that you'd like them to reduce your rate too.
Right.
David, do you want to weigh in here?
I think there
at
might
all?
be another workaround too.
No, go. What'd you say, Liz?
I said there might be another workaround here, too. If you make that CD a pay-on-death CD, in other words, if you die, it goes directly to beneficiaries, and you name, I think, 3 beneficiaries, I think you're going to boost your coverage up to $750. But check with the FDIC website. They have more information on that.
David, do you want to weigh in here?
Well, yeah, my question would be, do you have any depository relationships with your business with that bank? Because those are very valuable to the bank, particularly in this environment. To have a 100% collateralized loan, doesn't get any safer than that for the bank. And that bank needs not only that loan, they need that CD right now. So you are in an extraordinarily strong position to be polite, but to go into the bank and say, hey, look, this is the situation. I have my depository relationship with you. I have a 100% collateralized CD. How can you help me to make sure that I'm not going to lose what I've worked so hard to keep? And I got to believe that most bankers will sit down with you and they will help you to develop a strategy that makes sense for you. I really do believe that.
That was some incredible, well-rounded advice from all 4 of you. Well, Chris from New Jersey asked, with all the banks having trouble, is it possible to get money to start up a business, and how much is realistic? Anybody jump in here?
First of all, $35,000 for capital right off the bat. Very, very easy to get. If you have a military background, even easier. It's taking about 5 days right now with a FICO of about 630, 640 or above from SBA.gov. Go there, check it out. They have many loan programs. And then $25,000 on top of that to start the business. They're pushing this big time. It's a good thing to do. And actually, interestingly enough, I know John's not a big fan of VC money, but we are seeing an increase of about 4.5% from November through January of venture capital money. So depending upon your project, that's an option.
David, because you mentioned that your first business, you did use an SBA loan. I know that the current business, Vita Fitness, you funded half of it, I believe, with your own cash. So any advice in terms of financing?
Well, what's happened for me is that I have found that venture capital or equity money is just so expensive. The cheapest source of funding really is bank financing. That and family and friends. And when I talk to people about starting a business, I say, look, go to your family and friends and tell them what you want. Go with a business plan. Their passion, your passion will come across. And if they see that passion, they believe in you, they'll give you a good deal and they'll buy in with you. And as a matter of fact, if you need more time to pay it back, those people are going to be the ones that will have your back and will give you the leniency that you need. The second thing is that absolutely bank financing, if you can get it through the SBA programs that others have alluded to, I agree. Those are good ways to start and get some money in your account to fund your business.
John, I know you want to get in here.
Well, no, I think you should go to equity and venture capital providers because that's me, and I make a lot of money when you come to me.
That's the problem. You need to decide what.
Absolutely. No, in this environment, in that business, somebody who loans you money out of a fund is going to price that loan so they make at least 30% a year on the money. The other problem is in that business, you look at 1,000 loans and you make one. And so you're going to burn up a lot of pairs of shoes doing that. SBA is way better. Or like go out and pinch your uncle. Now, you don't like borrowing money from your uncle.
I don't like borrowing money
borrowing it from whoever will give it to me.
But maybe her aunt, she does like borrowing money from, and not her uncle. Because
I think that's the fastest way to ruin a relationship.
But I don't even like my uncle.
Well, we're going to go there.
You could go to Virgin Money,
here's
though.
Another thing. Thank you. I was going to exactly. Virgin Money has people out there that are looking to invest
not in
small
California.
businesses. And there are Virgins still in California, John.
Just the one. Just the one.
This one moved to New York. And so you can go to Virgin Money and check out, see what other people are willing to lend you and how low they're willing to go on their rates, and you just might find a good match.
And Virgin Money actually just got into the direct lending business itself in mortgages, making wholesale mortgage loans this past week. So
not a bad place, though, for a lot more stimulus of that stimulus. It could have gone right to SBA.
Indeed.
Ton.
Let's go to a break. Few minutes left to get in your small business questions, 15 and counting. So keep calling, keep those emails coming. We'll be right back.
Sealing your bathroom makes a mess. You need ProCaulk, the only tool that delivers a neat finish in just minutes, again and again. Apply silicone, select your edge, then slide along for a perfect finish without showing the joint. Select a smaller edge for a thinner silicone finish. ProCaulk is perfect for kitchen countertops to seal edges and eliminate those leaking corners. Seal like a professional in seconds. Any edge, any corner, any joint. You get a 16mm corner, a curved edge, and a grouting tip for between those tiles, plus 5 more edges. As a bonus, you'll get a third applicator for hard-to-reach places. You'll also get a silicone remover to strip old grouting, plus this tube of adhesive caulk, the complete ProCaulk kit, with 3 tools with 12 edges, silicone remover tool, and tube of caulk, just $19.95, plus shipping and handling. Order now.
To order your ProCaulk, call 1-800-518-7897 or send $19.95 plus shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-518-7897. Call now.
When you wish upon a star, even at the speed of light, it would take about 5 million years to get there. And we just don't have that kind of time. On Sunday, Nat Geo is hurtling you through the cosmos to witness the fastest, the biggest, and the most explosive natural forces in the universe. Planets, galaxies, and billions of miles of space brought down to Earth. Known Universe premieres Sunday on Nat Geo.
Monday, make them pay. Financial regulators want criminal authority to bring wrongdoers to justice. Will creating financial crime fighters really help to keep your money safe? It's where you want to be after work. Fox Business Happy Hour.
Howdy, and happy Valentine's Day.
It's the redneck hour. Right.
I grew up on Hee Haw.
Should we tell them what we were talking about in the break?
No, we're not, because we're talking about small business. That's what we're talking about.
Let's go with that.
They hate small. How about just starting a business? Whether you're running one, that's what the calls and emails are about. On the phone is Peter from Florida. Peter, ask away.
I live in Orlando, Florida. I was wondering if it's a good time to start a small business in transportation. I'm going to buy 3 18-wheelers and put them on the road to drive 48 states with team drivers. And since diesel prices have gone down, do you think it's a good time?
I think if you're passionate about it, you should start it regardless.
Peter, the things that would be in my I've owned trucking companies in the past and been around them, and the first thing you need to know when you have a truck is, can you get something to put in the back end of it and haul around? And right now, the slowdown in the economy has really nailed the less than truckload guys, and so it's tough to do the marketing right now. The other side of that is you can go to a Peterbilt or Mack or somebody and say, I'd like to buy your truck, but I don't have any money whatsoever. They've got lots of those things sitting around. They'll finance it for you, and they'll be glad to get rid of it at a low price. So it's a tough time to do the business, but it's a good time to get the stuff you need to do.
Maybe to start it so you're ready for the rebound.
Yeah. Can we just ask you real quickly, why 3 trucks right off the bat? How about starting with 1?
1 would probably be better. That's one my wife was telling me as well.
Yeah, she and I think alike.
Listen to the wife.
Always, Dani Babb, always listen to your wife. It's good, especially on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, on Valentine's Day.
Question.
We've got a question for David Von Stork. On the phone is Matt from Washington, D.C. Matt, go ahead. Ask your question.
Yeah, David, what is your business model on expanding and keeping membership at Vita Fitness?
Well, the way for us to expand membership is by the number one source of members that we have is referrals. So if we have a happy member and a member who uses our facility, that's the best way to get a member. Also, as to the second part of your question, it really is this full circle thing is, in an economy like this, it costs so much more for us to find a new member than it does to retain an existing member. So our focus in an economy particularly like this is really listening to the customer. And I know we hear that time and time again, listen to the customer, but it is that's the mantra. You've got to be able to listen to your customer, understand and acknowledge their point of view, and make it happen. And that's really, for us, we've been really successful in that in the business that we're in, it's 2 things. It's selling memberships and cancellations. So there are really 2 parts of the equation. So if you can sell a membership, and if your membership sales come down, but if you can have fewer cancellations, then you're still at the same net place at the end of the month.
David, how do you listen to the customer, though? Because you want to listen to the good. How do you engage your members? Because, again, you're not going to hear the bad stuff very often. People walk away angry. How do you balance that?
Well, you know, that's interesting you say that. In the food business and our restaurants, absolutely. Someone will walk out and have a bad experience. You'll never hear it again, except
from me, because I'll call you at home. I'll find out where you live.
But I'll tell you what, the fitness club is different because people feel like they have a vested interest in the facility. So if they're waiting for cardio, if they don't like a personal instructor, if the locker rooms aren't clean, if the front desk people aren't really on point, I'll tell you what, we hear it. We have suggestion cards at the front. We have managers walking the floor. Our managers' offices, for example, the doors are always open and they're fully floor-to-ceiling glass. And the reason why we have it set up that way is because we want people to feel empowered just to walk in, sit down, and start talking to our
I'll bet you also,
team.
David gets his butt out in the gym and walks around, talks to customers too. Most people think the owner's job is just sit home and count the money. You've got to get out there and engage with the customers yourself and ask them.
David works out 5 days a week, so he's
David,
in the gym.
Here's the question, though. Are you listening to your customer? Have you dropped the price of a membership, and have you dropped the price of a meal?
Well, let me tell you. Let me answer that question in sequence. You know what? You're absolutely right. I do work out 5 days a week, and when I walk through the gym, sometimes my friends will come up and say, "Don't you get tired of people coming up to you and complaining about the gym?" I said, "You know what? I love this place. I would much rather hear someone come up and bitch or complain about something than just walk away and not know. I really want to know the bad stuff. You know, I think in business, so many of us, it's true. We learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes.
Right.
I absolutely believe that's true. And people, if you're
we're getting wrapped. Stick around. We're almost out of time, but we will get a few more small business questions and phone calls. Stay on the phone. We'll be with you. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
The plan gets passed, but what does it really mean for the market and your money? We get you answers. Stay with the team you trust. Stay with Fox Business.
Spoiled produce? Not again. Stop throwing away your money. Introducing the Debbie Meyer Green Bags, the remarkable way to save your produce and your money.
Hi, I'm Debbie Meyer, and I no longer lose hundreds of dollars in wasted rotted fruits and vegetables. Now you can share my secret with Debbie Meyer's Everfresh Green Bags. Just look at the difference between 18 days in traditional storage and 18 days in my green bag storage. Do you want this or this? These strawberries were bought at the same time. Just look at the difference. Look at iceberg lettuce after just 8 days. Watch as these bananas age. Look at the difference. The bunch in my green bag is still fresh after 9 days.
Air is not the enemy. It's the ethylene gas that's naturally given off by produce, which causes them to spoil. Old containers and bags trap the gas inside, actually speeding up rotting. But green bags are made with a natural mineral that absorbs and removes the harmful ethylene gas.
Over 100 million green bags have already been sold, and now you can get 10 of the Debbie Meyer green bags for just $9.95.
Whether they're on your countertop or in your fridge, my green bags are the ultimate produce saver, and that saves you money. Look at this broccoli after 21 days, peppers after 16 days. Here are baby carrots after 26 days.
You'll get 5 medium and 5 large bags for just $9.95. They're reusable up to 10 times each, and they're guaranteed to pay for themselves in just one trip to the grocery store.
It's just such a money saver to be able to protect your food and have it last longer.
But wait, call now and we'll double the offer. That's right, now you'll get 10 medium and 10 large bags. That's 20 bags for only $9.95. Here's how to order.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-401-2460 now for Debbie Meyer's amazing green bags. No more spoiled fruits and vegetables. You'll get 10 medium and 10 large bags. That's over 200 uses for just $9.95. So call 1-800-401-2460 and order now.
Let's get right to your questions about money. Donna in Utah. Donna on the phone from Utah. What's your question?
Well, I own Lake Town Storage by Bear Lake in a very depressed area of Utah, and I get these calls for government grants 2 or 3 times a month, and I want to know if they're legitimate.
John's shaking his head. John, go ahead.
Danny, you know better.
Danny?
No.
Scams.
They're not. Scams.
They're not.
Stay away.
Yeah.
The government.
Nobody's going to call you up and want you to take their money.
There's no guy named Sam who's working the phones offering government money. That's what it boils down to.
Well, okay,
well,
then.
Uncle Sam.
I'll just keep hanging up
Hang
on
up
them
the
like
phone.
I'm doing now.
Keep doing that.
Thank
And
you.
the same
Caller
applies
ID,
to
very
email.
important.
Go ahead, Liz. What?
No, I'm saying getting caller ID is very helpful. Then you know when they're calling and you can just not answer.
Or no, and put them on the do not call list. Call the government.
Yeah, that's helpful too.
They won't give us a do not call list because we're a small business.
Here's what you do. You say, hold on, I'll be right back. You put them on hold, and then you go on with your business.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
All right,
You're
take
welcome.
care. Jeff is on the phone from California. Jeff, ask away. Jeff?
Jeff, you there?
Are you there, Jeff?
Hello?
Jeff, are you there? Can you
Yep.
hear us?
Yes.
What's your question?
If I want to buy out a partner in a pre-existing business, am I qualified for an SBA loan? And what's the interest rate on that anyway?
Danny?
You do qualify for a small business loan because this is going to be a continual business. Obviously, I'm assuming you own half of it already or some portion of it. So yes, you will qualify. You're probably only going to be able to get about 25 grand unless your business is making over 5 million and you agree to employ more than one person. And the interest rates right now vary by the bank, but you're probably looking at around 7.25.
David, buying out a partner, having a bad partner. Jump in, because I know you can share something on that.
Yeah, you know, those are really tricky. Those are really tricky ones. Yeah, I've had challenging partners in all of my businesses. It just happens, you know. It's like a marriage. You start the business with all the possibilities and all the intents, and then the reality hits, and
3 months later.
and after time, someone wants to do one thing, someone wants to do the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I would say this. You go into a negotiation with a partner, and if you really have to divide the baby in half. You have to be willing to do that. A, and B, look at your legal documents, because I will tell you there's situations where I know that I was not getting a good deal, but if I didn't have the legal documentation behind me, it is what it is. So I tell people, try not to emotionalize the discussions in business with your partners. You've got to look into the agreements that you have, and those are the ones that will really dictate, at the end of the day, the framework for the transaction. And if you've made a good deal, good for you, go on and nail it. But if you haven't, you've just got to take your emotion out of it and make the best deal you can and move on.
David, thank you very much. It's been a great time. Valentine's Day. I want to say thanks to John Rutledge, Dani Babb, Liz Pulliam-Weston, and David Von Stork.
And thanks to all of you for sending in those great questions, calling in. We're going to be back next week taking more of your calls and emails. And, of course, Fox Business is here for you all day long, every day this week, including Monday. We're wide open on President's Day. The markets are closed. But, again, we're going to have an entire series on refinancing next week. Refination. Love it. We'll see you Monday morning.